Hello, welcome to your video lesson on the Tchaikovsky. Okay, so this is going to be interesting for me because this is a huge piece. It's not really possible to break everything down in video without it taking forever. I'm going to have to break this down into sections per video. So what I'm going to do, per your request, is start from the end. I know you guys had mentioned that your teacher is starting from the end and working his way forward. So that's what I'm going to do, okay? So I'm going to start with the back page. So I'll do one page at a time. So we're going to do the page 6, and then next one I'll do page 5, and so on until we get to the beginning. Okay, this page actually works out really well to sort of start from here. At the bottom of the 5th page, it sort of stops there, and then you come in here as a new start. So this is really perfect, okay? I'm going to try to take just a picture of it and put that up for you somehow, or just give you guys a copy of my markings. It's very difficult to see my markings on here. I know with some of the other pieces I've been doing, the markings were more clear to see, but this is just so full. There's just so much happening on this page. So I've tried to make it as clear as possible. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, so bear with me as I figure out the lighting and the positioning, that kind of stuff. So for now, I'll do the best I can, and hopefully you get a lot of help from this. Okay, so we're going to break this down into certain things. I'm not going to tell you everything. Some things you guys can figure out on your own. So let me give you guys a look. So I'm going to disappear from the scene here for a second. And if you have any suggestions on how to position this, I would love that. Be amazing. Okay. So we're going to start with, hold on a second. I need my notes next to me. Okay, so make sure that you check out your measure numbers over here on the side. Okay, so we're going to start here in the second line. This is measure 366. So you have these lines. Each one is a different run of notes in different positions. So I recommend starting with this line. It's not too crazy. You start off in first position right here, and then you go up to third position. No big. And I'm recommending that you could come down right here if you would like to. Or you could stay in third. So when I have a marking in parentheses, that means it's an option. If I just give you a straight number, that's what I'm telling you you should do, okay? If I put it in parentheses and you have another fingering on the other side, either above or below, then I'm trying to tell you that both are an option and you should try both and see the one you prefer. I kind of liked coming down to first position right here. But either way, it's not a big deal. It's only in third position. So first and third. So I would start with this as your first practice. Get used to how that feels. And then I would go back up here to measure 361, okay? So measure 361, this line, this run of notes, you're gonna start in 4th position, okay? And then you're gonna jump up to 6th position for this, let's see, entire run of notes? No, you're gonna come down here. But this whole, see I have it bracketed off. That's all in 6th position, so that means 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, and these 4 are on the A string. See that little Roman numeral 2? That means 2nd string, okay? So your strings we have finger numbers and we have string numbers. And to keep confusion down, typically, and we also have position numbers, right? So that can be very confusing. Does it mean 2nd position? Does it mean 2nd string? Does it mean 2nd finger? What is it, right? So a little system that is used is that numbers are for finger numbers. Roman numerals are string number, okay? And pause. So your E string is Roman numeral 1, your A, Roman numeral 2, Roman numeral 3, Roman numeral 4 for your G string. This one you'll see a lot of times when they want us to go up on the G string. We see this probably the most often. That Roman numeral 4, which looks like a 1 and then a V after it. Oh, so that would look like, I think that's the right way to you. Or is it that way? The video turns it around. Anyway, the 1 being first, followed by a V. Okay, but a lot of times in shifting, it might say string 2 or string 3, Roman numeral 2 or 3, so that it's saying don't go onto the E string, go up the A string, okay? So, or don't go onto the A string, go on up the D string and get higher on the instrument. Why, you may ask? Why, Miss Summer? There's reasons. There's always a reason. So if I ask you to go up really high on a string when you could just go on the E string, there's a reason for it. So for example, okay, let's get back up here. This actually is very easy if you stay in 6th position. It's easier than if you shift down here. Okay, this group of notes and this group of notes are identical for your fingering on each string. So it feels very comfortable if you just stay there and then come down here. So give it a try. We'll talk about that. Now, if we go down here to lines 373, actually, should we go there yet? No, I'm going to play a little bit of these two for you. Okay, and we'll try to show you the fingering a little bit and a way to practice that. Okay. Okay, so these are in doubles. These runs of notes, they're all doubles, but I recommend to just practice them as singles and speed up your singles just to make it more clear. The doubles can sort of confuse things a little bit, confuse your fingers a little bit. So just do them as if there was no double marking at all. Just play them as singles, speed them up as singles. And as you start to get the fingering and your fingers become more comfortable with all these fingerings and weird notes, then you can add the doubles and work on, the speed with doubles, okay? So just to be able to work on the key, the fingering, the shifting, do it in singles. So we'll do that right now. Also take notice of the key. So what's in the key? We have a lot of things in the key in this piece, but at this moment, there are 3 flats. 3 flats, B flat, E flat, A flat, okay? That's tricky, okay? And in this piece, it changes a lot, but at least for this entire page, that's the key all the way to the end. So for sure, the note to look out for, is A flat. I think that's the one that gives most of us a hard time. The B flat and E flat we're probably a little more comfortable with, but the A flat is a little tricky. So that's why we may do some different shifts to make that note a little easier. Okay, so let's try that line 366. I'm going to do it in singles. I'll show you my fingering as much as I can. It's a little bit hard to get the right angle. If I show you this way, I've got to sort of tweak my body in a weird way and it's hard to bow it. But I will try it once or twice and then I'll have to sit up straight so I can bow. Okay, so if we start at 366, if we're not going to do doubles, I would start that up bow because it starts off the beat. 1 E and a, so 1 E and a is how it would go. 1 E and a. Oops, I left something off because I was making sure you could see my fingers. So from the shift in 3rd position. Okay, so you end up there. So that's very slow. Breaking it down, you could totally do that. So looking out for that A flat in 3rd position. And in 1st position. So in 1st position, B flat, C, D, E flat, F natural, G, A flat. So your third finger touches your second finger. And an A flat is also known as a G sharp. So it's really in a low position. Your hand is in a flat position. Your 1 is flat. Your thumb is right next to it. So it's as far down the scroll as it possibly can be. You've got a natural 2. That's the same on both strings. But on the E string, you've got that A flat. So you have a flat 3 and then flat 4. Okay, this fingering actually is not that uncomfortable. If you were to put your 1 where your old school first tapes ever, your home tapes, you'd have F sharp, G sharp, A, B, where 2 and 3 are buddies, they touch. Okay, and so this is the same thing, this flat position, but you just pull everything back a half step. So for your fingers, it shouldn't feel that crazy, but it is weird for your head. Your head doesn't like this flat 3 business, okay? On the A string, you don't have a flat 3. 3 and 4 now touch, okay? When you go to third position, let's see. Your 1 goes to A flat. So this is a big stretch, okay? Your 1 is not on your regular third position place. It's on A flat, so it gives us a problem. But your 4 here, this D, is not flat. So what we have is A flat, B flat, C, and then D. So in this one, we have whole steps between all 4 fingers, which is unusual for us. It should feel a little bit like a stretch, okay? There's that flat 1. And then you come down. Okay? Okay, so if you take that then and we go to the first line. So, I can't read that. 361. Okay, so at 361, now it gets a little bit tricky. We're going to go and, I'm not looking at you because I'm looking at the music. Okay, so we're going to have, the first part is going to be in 4th position, and then I showed you where you go into 6th position. So let's do that. Let's do the 4th position and 6th position, all right? First, you just need to get comfortable up there. Practice scales. We're going to work on scales. That will really, really help with just the getting up there part. It's tough because it's a big jump, and you're going straight to the 4th finger, so that is tough. You should be practicing the scales where you get up to your first finger and add 2, 3, 4, and eventually get good at putting them all up there. But we have to train our fingers to know where the notes are. So let's do that in a different way. So work on the scales, but let's break down the 2 sections. So 4th position. To find this, it's flat 4th position, right? So your first finger is going to be on E flat. So if we were to say B flat, C, D, E flat, this is where my 1 is going to go. So for me, when I try to find this position, I like to go to 3rd, and then it's just up a half step. Okay, because 3rd, a lot of us can just go straight to 3rd, and then your 4th position is just past that. Okay, so maybe that helps you, maybe it doesn't. Give it a try. That helps me. A lot of times I'll do that. So there it is. Did you hear it? Okay, now, so these are the notes in 4th position. I'm going to try to show you this. So E flat, wait, hold on. So E flat, F natural, G, A flat. So 3 and 4 touch. Then we go to the E string, B flat, C natural, D, E flat. Oh, except for in this example, they're asking you to make your 3rd finger, this D, is flat. That's not part of the key. It's just written in to that section right there. Where does it have it? Right here you have D flat. Tricky Tchaikovsky. Oh, these would almost be the exact same fingers if it weren't for that D flat. So you do have a flat 3. See how I have a little mark like this over top of where it says 2 and 3, that means those two fingers touch. There's a half step between them. They touch each other. 2 and 3 touch. Over here on the A string, 3 and 4 touch. Okay, so let's do that one more time. E flat, F, G, A flat, C, or sorry, B flat, C, D flat, E flat. So we can just play. Okay, so, and you can speed that up and just play that little scale on in fourth position as much as you want to get comfortable with that. And if you know perpetual motion, you can do it there with that fingering. So you wouldn't play it in perpetual motion fingering, you would do it with that fingering. So. So I just played that flat 3, it sounded funny. Okay, if you don't know perpetual motion, talk to me about it. We'll learn it, because that one is so good for learning positions. So good. Okay, now let's go to the 6th position. So 3rd position, flat 4th, there's my B flat, C, D. Okay, we're going to take our 1 to where that D is. At this point, my thumb has to come underneath. Okay, so in 4th position, we can still even have the magic X touching the neck. Our thumb is over here on the other side of the 1. They're still together as a team. They travel together from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and about 5th position, the thumb starts to come under and the magic X comes away from the neck. Okay, so by 6th position, we no longer have the magic X, and our thumb should be all the way up in this little nook right there, supporting it. Okay, so it's being supported by your shoulder and the thumb. Okay, so here we are with our first finger on D. Check it with your open D. Here's the notes that, oh, and we also need it on the A string. So over here, it's a G. You're on the G. So here's our notes. G, A flat, they touch, 1 and 2 touch. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G. Okay, so the fingering is the same on both strings. We're going to have 1 and 2 touch each other, and then you have whole steps to 3 and 4, but the steps are very tiny. So a whole step is only that big, which is very, very tiny, okay? And your 1 and 2 are very, very, very close together. They're squished on top of each other. So here it is again. I can't play it like this. I'm really crouched over. Okay, so I'm going to play it this way. So just getting used to doing that and staying on the 2 strings and don't come down. Okay, you can do doubles. Next thing you could do is maybe go between the 2 positions. So maybe we go. Okay, So just going back and forth, up and down. You're trying to teach your fingers what these notes are, right? Like, where are these notes? How do I find them? What do they feel like? And the only way I could do it when I was learning these kind of positions is to just sort of drill them like scales and then go from one up to the next and go back down until my fingers got really comfortable with where they were going, you know? Like in that measure 366 in the second line, you're pretty comfortable. I'd imagine you don't have much problem going from first and then to third. You're probably pretty aware already where you're going. But once we switch it to fourth, flat, fourth, and sixth position with flats, that is weird. No doubt, it is weird, and it's going to take your fingers time to understand. So you got to do it in this slow, sort of drill it way, or there's no hope to do it fast. Like, it's just not. You can fake it, but if you really want to get it and really, really nail the notes, then you got to just drill it like a scale. If you do that a little bit and speed it up a little bit each day, you'll start to get really comfortable. The cool thing is, next time you do something in fourth or sixth, you'll feel a lot better. You'll get it so much faster. So do the work, drill the notes, and then you'll get it. Okay, so then third line, measure 373. Okay, so in this one, I recommend a different fingering. I'm asking you to start higher. It says to start it in, I think he said first position, yeah. And I'm recommending to start that in fourth position and go ahead and be higher so that you'll still have to shift up, but not as far, okay? So if you start in first position, you have to shift really high, and that's hard to do when you're going that fast. So if you'll look at what I have to put my instrument down. This video is getting too long. Okay. So here you go ahead and start. You have plenty of time. You have rest right here. You have time to find this one, okay? You'll get good at it because you have to find it there too. You put your one right there. And then here, where you have a half step between C and D flat, this is the same group of notes that you have right here. So it should feel really comfortable, okay? You're going to slide 2, 2 right there. So you're going to slide your second finger to, let me look at it front way so I can really read it right. Your second finger is going to go from C to D flat, a half step, and then you can reach these other notes. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then come down to third position and just stay in third. Okay? So really you only have to slide up a half step and you can reach all of those notes and then you will come back down. It is a little tricky though, because when you come down, let's see, here they turn your D into D natural. So while you slide up to D flat and you do the 3, 4, 3, when you bring your second, go to 2 here, you've got to move him up. He's become natural, so he's no longer flat. Okay, and then you may have to adjust your 1 when you play this note. Okay, so that's something to work out. That's a little tricky. Let's try it. Here we go. So you're starting E flat. So instead of putting a 3 here for D flat, you're gonna slide up a half a step. Now your 2's there. Now you're in 5th position. You just slid into 5th position. Then 3, 4, 3, 2. So my 2 just went tucked right behind that 3. So let's see that again. I'm gonna start on the D flat right before the shift. Okay, and my 1 here is on A flat when I come down. Weird note. Okay, I hope that made sense. That's hard to explain. Okay, and we can certainly work on that. So that's your fingering. Now, when we get to 378, this is the 4th line of these runs of notes. It doesn't go as high, but you're headed into section P. okay, with the square with the P in it. And in section P, that's where we start dum da da dum da 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 dum bum bum. In that section, you need to be in fourth position. So I hate to tell you this, because you could play from 378 up to P. You could play it in first position, but you're not going to be able to get to fourth position for section P very easily. And it's better if you're just already there. It works really well to just be in fourth position for that whole section, okay? So I'm gonna recommend that you already work your way up before you get there. And it's a little strange, and we can go over it in your lesson, but here we go. So you start in second position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, and then you're gonna shift all the way up on the second string, on the A string. You're gonna stay on the A string. We're climbing up the A string. So here's second position, and then you're gonna put your 1 on the second F right there. And then you're gonna play all of this in fifth position until right here, you're gonna slide. So all of this is gonna feel really good in fifth position. It's all right there under your fingers. But then we need to get back to fourth position for this. So we're gonna slide that 3, 3 right there. It's a half step from A flat to G, and just a little half step slide, and then you're back into fourth position. Okay, so it looks like this. Tricky. So, let's see if I can get it to where you can see it. Here it is, 3. Okay, so we went all the way up to fifth because it works really well for okay, and then we slide our way back down to get back down to that flat fourth position. Okay? Okay, I'm gonna play it for you guys with a tempo, a slow tempo with singles. Let's go slower than that. Okay, so this is 45, super slow, but it is what it is. Okay, I hope you can hear that. So I just found flat fourth position, so I'm starting at the top of the page. Okay, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Three. Okay, you have 2 measures of rest. We're gonna start again. Next line, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. We got another 4 measures of rest. We're going to move on. We're going to get ready. 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Okay, moving on to the next one. See how I got my finger ready? 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Oops, sorry, let me start that again. 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Okay, so then you're in the next part. So, okay, let's talk about section B. So we just, before we do that, so we just did that whole, those first 4 lines up to section P at 45, which is really super slow. But if you can't do those notes at 45, how can we do it at whatever speed that it ultimately is going to be? So I recommend doing that where you just drill it. do one line at a time and drill it, and do it at 45, then do it at 47, then do it at 50, and just drill, drill, drill. And get faster and faster and faster. Do the next line the next day. Okay, and then eventually you kind of understand all 4 lines and you can drill all 4 lines at a time. But sometimes it might just be 1 line at a time. Okay, and that's what it takes for these kind of gnarly sections that are high and fast. It takes a lot of drilling, but it makes your fingers really skilled. They'll be able to do it more and more and more, much faster every time. So it's like, you know, training to run cross country or something. Your fingers just get stronger the more you run them like that. Okay, and you get faster and faster. So at section P, it's the tune is there so you can kind of hear it, even though it's the harmony in this violin 2 part. The tune is there, so that's nice. One thing I will point out, you guys probably already got this, but it wasn't very clear. So let me get the page up there for you. I gave you some more clear markings. I'll give you guys copies of this. But for example, down, down, up. Dun, da, da, dum, down, da, da, dum. So this tika, this little tika right here, down, tika, it's a little lift. You start this little tika down bow. It was there, but it was very faint. Just like you start this down bow, and you start this down bow. So right here, that you've got a, that's down, and then you have to do another little down starting right there. Down, dun, 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 dun. I'm singing the wrong pitches, but okay, then everything is in 4th position. And if you're not sure, and in this flat 4th position, and if you're having any trouble, again, do that flat 4th position perpetual motion, except for this time not with a weird flat 3 like we did at the top of the page, because you don't have that funny D flat in here. It's just in the same key with the 3 flats and no weird notes. So that's kind of nice. See, I just found my E flat, I found D first, and then there's my E flat, okay? So okay, Divya, see me about perpetual motion. Okay, now, and then you're there. This is not going to sound good when you do it slow. Your bowing's not going to be exactly right. I want you to notice that my 1 is on B flat and I'm not really moving it. I'm also not moving the 3 off of this B flat right here. So I have. Okay, and then it does move. It is going to bounce, but at this beat I can't really bounce, and I can't bounce leaning over. Anyway, I'm just trying to give you guys the fingerings. Okay, so that goes on. Now, you're going to stay in 4th until you get to measure 396. Do, 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 do. I have a funny sound in my head. My son likes to watch the movie Cars, and there's a little car that goes. Anyway, so that just, I wanted to go. He says it every time it comes on. It's so cute. Okay, so we said measure 396. So you're in 4th position all the way to here. Here's measure 396, and you're going to go to 3rd position. So you're only going back a half, 1 position. That's it. Okay, so with your 3rd finger here, this is a little bit weird, but it's doable. Then starting here, you're going to stay in 3rd position. You can choose to play those 2 notes together or just pick one, whatever you want to do. There's definitely some funny little notes in there because of these accidentals that are written in. So we'll talk about that. And then starting here in the 2nd measure of the, is it the 2nd measure? Yeah. of this line. This is just a chromatic fingering. So come down right here, and that might be different than what was written in there before. You're going to do 4, 3, 2. So this is first position, but chromatic fingering. So 4, 3, 2, 1. They all touch. 2, 1, 0. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. And we don't actually make it to 0 here, but it's nice and straightforward chromatic fingering. So give that a try. So this is in third, then you come to first, and it's just straight chromatic fingering. Okay? Now, I think that's where I'm going to stop with this, because I think that the rest of this is pretty self-explanatory. These chords are gnarly, but he wrote divisi. So pick which one you're doing, if you're top or bottom, and just do one note. If you want to tackle two and you feel like you can on certain ones, then do those. If it's too much, then just pick one note. It's more important to be together and have your bow in the right place with everyone else and just play one awesome good note than struggling to play two notes and be late or out of tune or something like that. So just nail the note you're gonna do. If you can do two, great. If you can't, don't do it, okay? Because nobody will ever know. It's fortissimo right there, and the band is probably going to be blaring, and nobody will have any idea if you're playing two or one note or three notes. They're not going to know, okay? Okay, so that should get you guys through that page. Good luck with that. Some good practice in there. These are some really good exercises on the top. So happy practicing. I'll see you guys in lesson. All right, hope this helps. I'd love some feedback. So if you have any suggestions on filming, I'm totally open to that because I'm learning this all new. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.